I don't remember. I know that's kind of horrible, but I figure, you know what? I'll know when we get there.
And will you be dealing with the West Coast or the East Coast, or which part of the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean?
It's a Caribbean cruise, so
okay.
we may pass that line like we did the cruise we went on a couple of years ago, where the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean met, and you can see the difference in the water. It's crazy how one side is like real nice and blue, and then the other one is nice and dark blue, but they don't mix. Like it's almost like baby blue and dark blue, and you could tell which ocean you're in because you're sitting there looking at that line of, that line that separates the two. How the water meets, but the water doesn't mix. And I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting because, being on that water, it's pretty nice. I can't complain.
Oh, yeah. So how many of these cruises have you done? I went on my first one ever just recently, so that's around December, January. So how many cruises have you actually been on?
Yeah, this would be my second one coming up, because for a long time I would not go on a cruise because I don't swim. So,
right.
When it was said let's go on a cruise, it's like, I don't know. But then I was like, why not? Really can't,
Yeah, I'm not Yeah, I'm not a swimmer either, so that's why I was kind of wondering about myself. But I'm not a swimmer, but I did manage to go. I was also worried about my sea legs, but I actually managed to walk around the boat without wobbling all over the place. I mean, there was a couple of times that you would definitely feel the ocean waves move and things of that nature. But I think for my first trip, I did pretty well with my sea legs, even though I was worried about that at first. I actually had a friend of mine that recently wrote that they are actually thinking about going on another. They went on one before, but they're thinking about going on a skydiving trip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is something that I do not think I will be doing anytime soon. Skydiving is not my idea of a fun thing to do because, I know they say the parachutes are safe and, you pull it and it's supposed to guide you to the ground, but I'm just not too sure that I feel too comfortable with that because even though they say that that's the way it's supposed to work, what's supposed to work and what actually works are not always the same thing.
Right.
So I don't think anybody's got to worry about going on any skydiving trips anytime soon. Another cruise is definitely coming up in the very soon, so that I'm looking forward to. But skydiving, that's not happening.
Yeah, I'm not doing the other stuff. Not doing the other stuff. Not for me.
Now, what about these folks who organize ski trips?
I've never gone skiing a day in my life.
Yeah, I've never gone skiing either.
I've never been on a skiing trip. Too cold, one. I don't like being that doggone cold. Winters in Jersey is enough for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think the ski trip I might try, but I don't know that I'm going to try any skiing because skiing implies that you got to have coordination, which means that you got a possibility of falling in that ice and falling on falling out of ice might seem like it's an easy thing to do, but from what folks have told me, it's almost like falling on cement. So I don't know that I want to fall on that kind of like cement. There's a reason that people get broken legs when they go on ski trips.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I'll let them have that.
Yeah, they can definitely have that one. And like I said, they can definitely have the skydiving too. That's not in my wheelhouse of things that I want to do. Surprisingly, even though it's the same principle, I have thought about the possibility of, but that's another coordination thing. It just looks cool, but I'm not sure that I'm going to try it. It just sounds like a good idea. I have thought about the possibility of hang gliding, but because that's a little bit lower to the ground than the parachute. But still it's still a little bit too tempting the possibility of disaster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
So yeah, I don't think the folks got to worry about me doing that one either.
Oh yeah. No, I won't be doing that either though. Yeah.
So, but I believe the trip that you have coming up, this is a celebration of an anniversary, isn't it?
Yeah, 15-year anniversary with my wife.
So you've been married with her for, you said 15 years?
Yeah, 15.
Okay. So y'all are only 5 years away from the big 20.
Yeah, time goes by fast, man. Real quick.
And if folks had told you 15 years ago that you would still be with her, you would have been like, yes. You said that you knew that this would go clean as soon as you met her.
Well, I mean, you get to a point where if you want to run around, don't get married, you know? If you're ready to do adult things, then you let all the other stuff. It's too much work dealing with multiple women and all. It's too much for me, man. I'm like, I don't have the patience. And it's trying to figure out who's where and all of that. Nah, hell no. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, listen. She's still there holding it together with me, so I can't complain. Yeah, can't complain at all. Yeah, so I guess that we're getting close to the end, man. And it's almost that time. Again, we thank all of you for all of the support, all of the listener support, checking out the page on Facebook, listening and following us on Twitter. You know, we greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate all of you. It is the Voice of the People with Dean Geronimo and Mark Lee. We're here every Monday night at 7 p.m. You can catch us on right here at Blog Talk Radio. You can catch the replays on Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, here at Blog Talk Radio, and also on iHeartRadio. It's called The Voice of the People. You'll see a microphone on fire and the black fist in the top corner. That's us. So we are the Voice of the People. Those are all of the ways that you can find us, continue to support us. We greatly appreciate all of you. Yep,
so I'm back.
Oh, okay. So yeah, man.
I'm back.
I was just telling them.
Disappeared there for a second. Disappeared there for a second. Phone decided to go and act crazy, but I am back. But you know, you were talking just real briefly, and we'll get ready to wrap it up and everything, about how much work it is to be that whole single thing and everything. But what I found was interesting, I was having this conversation with two friends of mine, was that the government, once again, has found a way to get in the middle of stuff crazily, because apparently it is easier for you to get more benefits if you divorce your person if they are in bad health. Because I was talking to a friend of mine who's got one of her best friends is going through that with her husband. He's in hospice care and, you know, is definitely in some very bad health and everything. And they have actually found out that it would be better for them if they were actually divorced from a financial standpoint. And apparently their lawyers are telling them that. And then I've told another friend, and they said that they heard something similar. So apparently they're even like lawyers, and they're telling folks that it's easier to be separate if you want to get your total benefits. Even like Social Security benefits, apparently. There are some people that are going through, I guess, the motions of divorce, even though they're still living together, because they want to get the total packages of their checks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just wrong. I don't know why the government's got to try to mess with people and got to do things of that nature, even though most people are there definitely deeply in love. would love to be together and stay together and have the benefits of being together, but apparently the government is finding ways to make it more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So it's just crazy out there. But we're definitely going to wrap up this particular edition, and I'm going to find out what happened to Jasmine. Hopefully we'll get her back on in a future edition, but I already know that because I've talked to her several times, that Sabrina has got it written on her calendar and has emailed me several times like, I'm there. So we will definitely be looking for Serena Sebring next week to talk about all of her activism work and things of that nature. And, of course, we'll find out what's going on in the world, because the world is always acting topsy-turvy. And if there are listeners out there that have things that they are wanting to talk about, maybe they've got a book that they put out. Maybe they've got some music that they put out. Maybe they've got a cause that they are interested in. We are always interested in hearing what they've got to say. They can reach out to me. They can reach me at bluesradio@gmail.com. And Dean has already given you different ways that you can reach him as well. And, of course, we are always looking forward to finding interesting and spectacular people to talk to as we continue to grow and develop this show on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah. And we'll continue to work on those things.
So, Dean, you got any parting thoughts as we get ready to head on out? Or we'll do an early break on this particular episode, and then you got any parting thoughts for the listeners on this particular week?
You know what? Do everything you can to make tomorrow better than today, and plan to be a better you. You know, work on things that you need to work on. There's some people that'll try to rush you to get it done, but you know what you need to work on, how you need to get it done. Take those steps to just make yourself, like I said, a better you. And from there, things should work out, you know, and it'll be a good thing for everyone involved, and you'll feel better, they'll feel better, and it makes the world a better place. So with that being said, it's a six-man Dean Geronimo, and that's all for tonight for me. Mark, you take it away.
Yep, that's about it for me as well, and I definitely agree with what Dean said. Definitely try to do some positive things out there. Find ways to make a difference, and not just in your own personal life, but in your community as well. You know, it takes definitely us to find ways to get involved in what's happening in our community. So definitely keep abreast of what's happening in your community, but also find ways to be involved in your community, whether that's doing volunteer work, whether that's doing other things, maybe within your church, your sorority, fraternity, or the different organizations that you belong to. But find a way to get involved in your community in a positive way. And that would be one of the advices that I would give in terms of what folks can do out there in terms of making a positive difference. And the other thing that I would say is that too often, I mean, there are some situations that you cannot avoid the negative people. But sometimes the negative people are at your job, and you cannot avoid them because they are at your job, and there are ways that you cannot just totally close them off because they are in your work environment and you are in their environment. But there are ways that you can at least limit your involvement with them, at least as much as possible, if they are creating that much drama in your life. So if there are ways that you can avoid dealing with them, don't deal with them. And if there are negative people in your life that are in parts of your life that you can control, then it might be time to let those folks go, because sometimes negative folks are only adding to the drama that we have in our lives. So if there are ways that you can get those negative people out of your life, it might be time to let some of them go. So if they're adding too much drama and you can't let them go, sometimes it's time to release.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. So we thank all of y'all for continuing to tune in. I've given you all of the places where we can be found. We thank you, and we will see you next week.
See you next week. Have a good one.
Peace.